Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are well. Today, I am going to discuss the philosophical concepts, particularly Plato. All right, Plato. So, you have already known something about Plato. This class will give you a detailed idea about Plato and his philosophy, his writings, and so on. So Plato, do you remember who Plato was? Anyone? Who was Plato?
So Plato was a philosopher.
Plato was a
Sir,
phil-
sir, Plato was a Greek philosopher and he was a student of Aristotle and Socrates.
no, he was not a student of Aristotle. He
He
was
was
a
a student of
student of
Socrates.
Socrates. All right.
Socrates, sir.
So Plato, was he a writer or a philosopher? What was he?
Sir, actually, he was a
Philosopher.
philosopher and he also wrote the ideas of Socrates.
He was a philosopher. He was also a mathematician and
Yeah.
also a writer. All right.
Right.
So
Yes, sir.
Plato was born in 427 BC. BC means the before Christ, in Athens, Greece. His father's name was Ariston. His mother was Perictione. Plato had two brothers, two brothers, Glaucon and Adimantus. He also had an older sister, Potone, Potone, Potone. Plato died in 347 BC in Athens, Greece. So we know him especially as a philosopher, and he's the founder of the academy. Academy. It was a school at that time in Athens, and the name of that school was Academy. So Plato founded or established that school. And we also know him as the father of Western philosophy. In one of my last classes, I told you the father of philosophy is Socrates, or the father of Greek philosophy is Socrates, but the father of Western philosophy is Plato. So you should remember. And his notable works, notable books are number one, Apology, number two, Phaedo, number three, Symposium, and number four, The Republic. Actually, he wrote many books, but these four are the most important books. All right. So I guess I showed you Plato's picture in the last class. So I'm showing it again in case someone has missed it. So can you see the photo on the screen?
No, sir.
I have already shared. Can you see now?
No, sir.
No?
No, sir. We can see.
It's loading, sir.
It's loading. It will take 2 or 3 seconds. Can you see it now or no?
So it's still loading.
Okay, all right. In the meantime, I continue. If you can see the picture, you please tell me. All right. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
Plato was born in Athens, as I have already mentioned, and
So we can see that.
you can see it now, the photo.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
this
It's
is the
visible, right?
statue, you can say statue of the face only up to the neck. So yes, is the photo of Plato. All right. So let me continue now. So Plato's family, his family was rich and respected in the society, and we respect him. We honor Plato as one of the world's greatest thinkers. All right. There were also great thinkers, philosophers, Socrates and Aristotle. Plato is also one of the world's greatest thinkers or philosophers. Plato's family has connection with the politics, with politics. And it was actually apparent, I mean, it seemed at that time that Plato was expected to continue his career in politics. People thought that he would be a politician in the future. However, he was not interested in politics. He was interested more on the arts. Arts. Uh, what do you mean by arts? ARTS. The term arts, it actually means, something creative. You are creating something. Okay, it may be a poem, it may be an essay, it may be an epic, a novel, a drama. You are creating something beautiful. It may be a painting. If you paint or draw a picture, it is also a piece of art. So he wrote plays, and perhaps he also wrote poetry when he was young. Actually, this is interesting. Plato's main original name was Aristocles, Aristocles, Aristocles. It was his real name, and Plato was his nickname. All right. So the word Plato, it means broad. Broad, wide, broad. In Bangla, uh, proshosto, broad. So perhaps, possibly, the name Plato, it indicates his physical appearance or his wrestling position or style. It means that Plato was physically strong. He looked like a wrestler, wrestler in a wrestling match. So he looked like a wrestler. He was strong as a person. So that's why the name Plato came. So his nickname was Plato. And the people of the Arab speaking countries, for example, the people of Turkey or Iran, call him Iflatun. Iflatun. And Iflatun means a spring of water. A spring of water. Uh, Actually, it is a symbolic expression. a spring of water or a spring of knowledge. So the people of Turkey, the people of Iran, and also the people of other countries, other Arabic speaking countries, they respectfully call him Iflatun. It is a title of respect, because Plato was so wise, and he was highly respected in Greece, and he is still respected. We respect him still now, because his philosophies, his ideas, his thoughts, we still follow, we still read and learn so many things from his books. So Plato became a follower of the philosopher Socrates and learned so much from him. You already know that Socrates was the teacher of Plato. At that time, Socrates had so many enemies in the government. Many government officers, they did not like Socrates, because Socrates was fearless. Socrates did not fear anyone. He was courageous, brave, and he did not he did not obey the Greek gods and goddesses. So many people hated Socrates. At one time, the leaders of Athens, they gave Socrates a punishment. What is the punishment? The punishment was he would be sentenced to death by drinking poison called hemlock. So Socrates drank the poison and died. Actually, this affected Plato greatly. Plato was so sad because his favorite teacher, the great philosopher Socrates, died. And Plato was so upset, so disappointed. And he also hated politics, because he thought that the leaders were not good enough, the leaders were not just, in বাংলা ন্যায়পরায়ণ, লিডাররা ন্যায়পরায়ণ ছিলেন না তখন, and they punished Socrates illogically and unjustly, অন্যায়ভাবে. So Plato did not want to be a part of politics. He thought politics was, dirty, and he began to travel throughout Greece, Egypt, and Italy. He loved traveling. After Socrates' death, Plato began to write down the teachings of Socrates and would later expand his ideas. You should know that Socrates did not write any books. Socrates did not write any books. Socrates taught. Socrates was a teacher of so many students. And Plato was a student. Plato remembered the teachings of Socrates, and Plato wrote down those teachings in the books. So now we know about Socrates, we know about Socrates' life, his philosophies, by reading the books of Plato. All right? So Plato wrote his books in the form of dialogues. Dialogue, you know, dialogues in dramas, especially in stage dramas. Uh, you remember Hamlet? We staged, and I was the director of that stage drama. So in a stage drama, there are dialogues, right? So Plato, in his books, he used the form of dialogues. Plato did not write story. He wrote the books in the forms of dialogues. Like, for example, uh, Socrates says, Socrates একটা line বলে, then another character says something, আরেকজন ক্যারেক্টার কিছু একটা বলে, তারপর সক্রেটিস বলে না 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 এটা ঠিক না, বিষয়টা এমন নয়, আবার অন্য ক্যারেক্টারটা বলে না কেন এমন নয়। Do you understand? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
So
We can understand you.
yes, so Plato's books are written in the form of dialogues. So in those books, people talk about ideas, and sometimes they disagree about them, sometimes they agree about them. All right, so this is why Plato's books are so interesting. When we read the books, we feel interested because the books are written in the form of dialogues. All right, next is Plato did not like the rhetorics of Sophism. You see, at that time, there was Sophism. Now, what is Sophism? Sophism,
জ্ঞানতত্ত্ব
sorry.
জ্ঞানতত্ত্ব
Uh, yes, you can say that. So I'm discussing in detail now. Sophism, actually, it is connected with the word Sophia. You know, in Greek, Sophia means wisdom. So Didar is right. So wisdom is connected with knowledge. So Sophism. So there was a group. There was a group. Sophism.
সোফিস্ট বলা হতো তাদেরকে।
Actually, it was a group of teachers. It was a group of teachers, and they were called sophists. The members of that group, Sophism, were called sophists. So they were the teachers, group of teachers. And what did they teach? ওনারা কি পড়াতেন সফিস্টরা? They taught philosophy and rhetoric. The sophists.
স্যার তাদের নামে তো একটা আর্গুমেন্ট আছে, তারা নাকি নলেজ সেল করতো
I'm saying
টাকার বিনিময়ে।
I'm saying gradually. Okay. So they taught philosophy and rhetoric. Now, what is philosophy? You understand. I discussed much about philosophy in my previous classes. Now, what is rhetoric? Any idea?
স্যার রিথরিক মানে খুব সুন্দর করে কোনো কিছু লিখা বা কোনো কিছু বলা।
Yes, you are almost right. Rhetoric means to, you know, I mean, the art of convincing other people through your beautiful speech or writing. Especially the political leaders. The political leaders, they use rhetoric. Political leaderরা মানুষকে কনভিন্স করার জন্য, মানুষকে রাজি করানোর জন্য যে আমাকে ভোট দিন, রাজি করানোর জন্য তারা এত সুন্দর করে গুছিয়ে কথা বলে। This is called rhetoric. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the early sophists, these teachers, they actually taught the students and received money. Like nowadays, you do tuitions, right? Many of you are tutors. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
In the afternoon or in the evening, you do tuitions, and
Ye-
you are paid, right? The guardians pay you money
Yes, sir.
because you are teaching, so you are working hard, so your reward or your prize is the money, right? So it's a kind of salary, right? So you are getting it. So the thing is, at that time in Greece, most of the philosophers, they hated the sophists. Socrates did not like the sophists. Plato did not like. Aristotle also did not like the sophists. Why? Because the sophists took money from the students. They taught philosophy and rhetoric, but not freely, for money. So other philosophers hated them. And Plato's books, especially Plato's one book, Gorgias, in that book, we see that uh, he does not like the sophists. Then I'm talking about Plato's one of the famous books, The Republic. In this book, Plato describes the vision of Socrates. Socrates had a vision. Socrates wanted to have an ideal state. Ideal in Bangla, adorsho, sundor, perfect. Socrates wanted to have an ideal state or nation or country. So this in this book, we also see the dialogues. People talk. The method of questioning in this dialogue is called the Socratic method. I'll talk about the Socratic method in detail later on, so don't worry. This book, The Republic, has ideas of Socrates. If you read this book, you will learn so many things about Socrates and his ideas, what he wanted. Plato was deeply influenced by the ideas of Pythagoras. Pythagoras, another Greek philosopher and mathematician. So Plato was very much influenced by Pythagoras and especially by his numerical harmony. All right, numerical harmony. That means Pythagoras believed that we can explain everything by using numbers. Numbers, shapes, geometrical shapes. So by using these, we can explain everything in the world and in this universe. So Pythagoras believed this. Plato also, we can say, followed Pythagoras. And Plato's theory of the forms. Plato had a theory. It is called theory of the forms or theory of ideas. So this theory, it is also related to Pythagoras's idea about the, about the numerical harmony. Numerical means number. Numerical, connected with numbers. So what is Plato's theory of ideas or the theory of forms? What is it? Actually, it is a philosophical theory or idea that the physical world, our world, this world is not as real or true as timeless, absolute, unchangeable ideas. Actually, Plato believed that this world is not as real or true as timeless, absolute, unchangeable ideas. So according to Plato, ideas are immortal. Ideas do not die. Ideas are, absolute, timeless. আইডিয়া, মানুষের আইডিয়ার মৃত্যু নেই, কিন্তু এই পৃথিবী রিয়েল নয়, পৃথিবী হচ্ছে একটা মায়া. So Plato believed this. So
Idea is bulletproof, sir.
yes, you cannot murder or you cannot kill any idea. Can you destroy any idea? If I have an idea now in my brain, if I have an idea, can you see that idea? No. But still the idea is in my mind. Idea you cannot touch the idea, you cannot destroy, burn, you cannot, shoot the idea. Idea is there in my mind. According to Plato, ideas are immortal. Ideas are true and real. But this physical world, this whole world is not real, is not true. All right. So next, Plato was also influenced by another philosopher. His name was Anaxagoras. Interestingly, Anaxagoras was also the teacher of Socrates. But Anaxagoras is not so famous as Socrates. We know the name of Socrates, but most of us don't know the name of Anaxagoras. Anaxagoras was the teacher of Socrates. And Anaxagoras believed that our mind pervades everything. That means our mind and our logic, if we use our mind properly, if we live, if we judge logically, if we live properly, then we can be happy, we can be successful in life. There will be no tension. So Anaxagoras also influenced Plato. And there was another philosopher, Parmenides. Parmenides also influenced Plato. Actually, Parmenides, Plato learned from the philosophy of Parmenides. Parmenides believed in the unity of all things. Unity of all things. That means we have souls, right? We all have a soul. I mean, according to Islam, every human being has a soul. So after you die, the soul leaves the, leaves the body. If the soul leaves the body, that means a person is dead. So Plato believed that, the soul, this soul is actually connected with the bigger soul. Bigger soul means God. So every soul has a godly element. Every soul has the touch of God in it. So Parmenides believed in the unity of all things. Parmenides believed that everything is united, everything is connected. And he is actually true. He's not wrong when he says, because you see, uh, you know, the ecosystem in Bangla, what is it called? Bastu Tantra?
Bastu Shanstan, sir.
Bastu Shangstan. Every animal, every being is dependent on
each other.
another one.
On another animal, sir.
On another animal. Like, for example, a snake. A snake has to eat a rat. If it does not eat, it will die. Then an eagle, the bird eagle, has to eat a snake.
Snake, yes, sir.
So you see, we are all connected, right?
Yes, sir.
So Plato's main interests at that time, Plato was interested in many subjects. He loved many subjects. He was a lifelong learner. He wanted to learn. He wanted to think deeply. He wanted, to change the society, to teach the people. So that's why we call him a philosopher. So Plato was interested in metaphysics, ethics, in politics, in epistemology, in rhetoric, in art, in literature, education, society, friendship, love. You see, in all his books, we find the descriptions about all these things, about society. He wrote about art, he wrote about rhetoric, he wrote about politics, he wrote about education, about literature, and he had interest in so many subjects. All right. Just like, for example, all of you are students and you have different interests. Am I right?
Of course, sir.
Some of you like to read dramas, some of you like to read novels, some of you like traveling, some of you like gossiping. Mohi may like, keeping a pet.
Ball two, like ball two.
Yes. And so anyway, I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
So Plato, is also famous for some of his remarkable ideas, some important ideas or theories that Plato introduced. Number one is Platonic philosophy. Then another one, demiurge. Then innatism, Khora, metaxy, philosopher king. Plato gave a theory about philosopher king. I will discuss it later on, don't worry. All right, then forms. theory of forms or theory of ideas, poiesis, another theory that Plato introduced. All right, so in this way, he introduced so many new theories which are really helpful. We can learn so many things from these ideas, from Plato's ideas. So the Peloponnesian War, there was a war at that time in Greece. It is called the Peloponnesian War. And this war was between Athens and Sparta, two cities. All right. And you must remember that Plato was from Athens. Plato was born in Athens. So the Peloponnesian War, it was between Athens and Sparta. So Plato was very young at that time. Maybe many people believe that Plato was a soldier also at that time, and he fought in some wars. Many people believe there are no proofs. Anyway, he saw wars, it is for sure, because he was there in Athens and he saw wars, and he did not like wars actually, because wars always destroy. যুদ্ধে মানুষের প্রাণের ক্ষতি, সম্পদের ক্ষতি. So Plato, as a philosopher, he never what should I say, he never supported any kinds of wars. All right, so that's it for today. So don't worry, I will discuss everything gradually. And Plato, the topic is there in your syllabus. There will be a question in your exam. So that's why I have started discussing about Plato. So I hope to finish it in the next class. Is it fine with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope you are enjoying. This is really
Yes, sir.
interesting, right?